Hey everyone, Catherine here, and I'm an educator with the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. I'm coming to you from my backyard, and we're going to be talking about my favorite kind of science today, all about weather. Even got my weather station up top here. Today's lesson is all about thunderstorms, so let's get started.
Earth, a pretty complex planet. The layer of air that surrounds our Earth is called the atmosphere. The lowest, most layer in this atmosphere is called the troposphere. This is where all our weather occurs. Meteorologists are the scientists that study this layer of the atmosphere in order to forecast or predict the weather. The main drivers for weather are the sun and water. The sun heats up the atmosphere and Earth's surfaces. This process, called convection, causes warm air to rise. Higher up in the atmosphere, it's cooler in temperature, causing cold air to sink. Adding water to this process, and now we have the water cycle. More specifically, the processes of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. It's this constant exchange of air moving up and down throughout our atmosphere, but also Earth's rotation, causing air to travel across the planet. Meteorologists refer to large areas of air moving around our planet as air masses, and we refer to these air masses by their temperature and how much water is in them. The way these air masses are formed and interact is all part of our global weather patterns. So how does a thunderstorm form? Thunderstorms form from a cumulonimbus cloud. When strong convection occurs, this means that there is strong heating of the air at Earth's surface. Once heated enough, there becomes a surge or a rush of warm air and whatever water that's in that air mass upwards into the troposphere. This is what meteorologists refer to as the updraft to a storm. It's a strong stream of warm air with lots of water in it that is less dense or lighter than the surrounding air. As that air continues to rise, it'll condense, causing the cloud to grow even more. Strong thunderstorms like this one will reach the top of the troposphere. That's why you can see that at the top of the storm, it's kind of rushing out to the sides. That's as high as the troposphere allows storms to form. That's because there's another layer to our atmosphere called the stratosphere above it, acting like a lid to our lowest layer of the atmosphere. At this elevation, the cloud is much cooler in temperature. As it cools, it will eventually become more dense and heavy and sink downwards. We call this the downdraft. The downdraft is also where we will see precipitation at the bottom of the cloud. In this thunderstorm, there's a large area of precipitation of rain just below the cloud.
Aren't thunderstorms fascinating? Now, my scientist friend Kristen has an awesome experiment for you to try that'll help you learn even more about thunderstorm formation. Over to you, Kristen.
Wait a second. That's not Kristen. That's Moose, our resident Perot Museum bearded dragon. Hey Moose, pass it over to Kristen.
Hi Catherine, thanks for having me. I found the perfect experiment to study thunderstorm formation from home. You'll need a large container, preferably clear or something that you can see through, a small glass container or something heavy that will sink in water, red and blue food coloring, and of course, lots of water. The first thing you'll need to do is take your blue food coloring and water and freeze it into some ice cubes. This will act as your cold air mass. You'll also need to fill your large clear container with room temperature water. This will act as a neutral air mass. And then the last thing you'll need to do is you'll need to create a warm air mass using warm water. I just warmed up some tap water in the microwave for 2 minutes and it was warm enough. We don't want it boiling, just warm. When you're ready to begin the experiment, you'll simply add your warm air mass to one side of your tank and your cold air mass to the other.
Make a hypothesis. What do you think will happen when the air masses interact? What do you observe? You should see the warm air mass rising and the cold air mass sinking. That is because the warm air mass is less dense than the cold air mass, and gravity pulls the cold air mass down. Inside a thunderstorm, we call these updrafts and downdrafts. The updraft carries warm air up into the troposphere where it will cool, condense, and fall as precipitation. The purple colored drops falling down in our tank represent this process.
Happy experimenting! Let's head back to Catherine.
Thanks, Kristen. I enjoyed being a meteorologist today with you and learning all about thunderstorms. Now, I encourage you to track the weather so See how the weather changes from day to day, and the next time you experience thunderstorms, you now know the science behind them. Thanks for joining me.